wonder why it seems so nice in here. Mm-hmm.
Hi everybody, how's it going? And welcome to Mondays in the Mortal Realms.
Hello.
We are here, we're back. We are talking a couple interesting topics today.
Yeah.
Cities of Sigmar, kind of like huge new release. Oh wait, do I have...
Wait, why can I hear myself?
I can.
What's
Hi
happening?
everybody, how's it going? And welcome to Mondays in the Mortal Realms. Oh no, what
Where's
is
it
that?
going from?
Oh, here it is, here it is. Here it is, here it is. There we go. Okay, we did it. I had a hidden Chrome window open. That was just the stream ready to go.
All right.
Okay.
Look at us.
Apologies. That was scary. I was like,
I was like, whoa, what's
that was
happening?
really weird. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Wow, we've had like some technical difficulties today. I guess that happens when you run a streaming channel.
It does.
Talking new cities releases today.
Yes.
Because they are pretty cool, and also talking non-magical armies. We initially thought, I think we thought the Nullstone Adornments were kind of stupid, but they're actually not, as it turns out, I think. What do you think?
Did we say they were stupid?
I
thought
said
we were
they
saying
stupid.
that the magic powder, the fairy powder, seemed amazing.
I think Magic Powder is amazing. I think Pebble is amazing.
Pebble is good, yeah.
Pebble's good. So we're going to talk Pebble. We're going to talk Powder. The other one is also not awful.
I forget what the other one is.
The other one is just a Dispel.
Oh, yeah.
And if you Dispel, then you can Dispel again.
Oh, yeah. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got someone, because I know there's a few armies out there that aren't magical, but they get some benefits to stopping magic.
Plus, we've just seen, Fire Slayers, I think, have something like this, I believe.
Yes,
I think so.
Dispossessed, I think, have something.
Yeah.
The dwarves, basically. What we're saying is the dwarves.
Dwarves, basically. Dwarves.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we think maybe we were wrong, or I was wrong. Maybe you were not wrong. New city stuff, looking pretty awesome.
I mean, for some benevolent reason, Games Workshop showed like all the remaining range, which was lovely. Just randomly dropped for.
There was like a
all.
leak, and then the next day they came out and wore.
Yeah. Which I like, because no one wants to look at fuzzy pictures or anything. It's nice that they were just like, here's all the beautiful imagery and shots. But yeah, no, this it's a smaller range than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
But I suspect this adds fuel to the fire of we might see a second wave middle of next year, perhaps.
Yeah. Fuel to the fire of maybe being
the new
fourth
actual
ed box set, which we all have our fingers crossed.
Maybe Games Workshop have realised that Stormcast actually suck, and that maybe they shouldn't be the poster children of anything anymore.
I mean, listen, I love Stormcast, but like, I don't necessarily want only Stormcast all the time and everything. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna make a prediction on 4th edition's narrative. Sigmar decides to favour the humans as his poster children because they look infinitely cooler and are awesome and might actually be good on the tabletop, and all of the Stormcast turn to chaos.
Ooh. Can you imagine?
Age of Sigmar needs its Horus Heresy, and I feel like Stormcast being rubbish is fuel for that fire of maybe we should turn against
that's kind of interesting.
Sigmar. I don't really believe that. That's a joke, people, but I do love this range.
Yeah, he doesn't have like inside information.
No. I know literally nothing. In fact, probably what I'm saying the opposite is probably what will happen.
It'll be Stormcast versus another Stormcast versus
it'll be
Stormcast.
on Stormcast, yeah. No, I love this range. Who have I got up on screen? Horsey Marshal. I love Horsey Marshal. I love that he's on a reverse tactical rock. He's not tactically rocking into battle. He's tactically rocking down, towards things. He's very cool.
He's on a ride.
I love this pose. It's very dramatic. It's very heroic. Like, it's not an action pose. It's very much a...
It's a rousing speech pose.
Yeah, it's a rousing speech pose, exactly.
Actually, he's checking everybody. He's checking out his lines.
He's doing the inspection. Yeah, no, this is a great model. I love all the details. I will say, maybe too many details?
So,
this guy is busy.
A lot of these models
There's a lot going on with this army and this guy.
He's got a bed. He's got a bed.
He has everything. He brought his entire house on this horse. He's ready for a long campaign, but... Yeah, I love this model. Beautiful sculpt. Nothing beats a good horse, like a classic horse sculpt, like a mounted miniature. It's everyone went crazy when they showed the new Bretonia guy. I think for the same reason of just a great sculpt. So this is beautiful.
It is kind of cool to see horses back.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? How do you feel?
I mean, I can't wait for another one-shot D3 damage cannon. But this thing looks beautiful. Yeah. This is a great, just absolutely chunky, like, totally human, absolutely scrappy, bulky design. But if it follows the trend of every other siege ornament in all of the armies, this thing is going to suck.
Yeah, we'll see.
And I hope it doesn't suck.
I hope so. We'll see.
But the odds are it's gonna be rubbish.
You're gonna get a lot of bits with this kit. We see this big dude taking a gulp here.
Yeah.
I've seen other builds of it where it's like two totally different people. So you're gonna get like a lot of extra bits with this.
Yeah, and the bit that I found most interesting in the description of this is that I can't remember the line from the article, but it's something like it has the perfect blend of reload speed and firepower, and I'm like, what does that mean? What is this thing?
Yeah, is that true with a guy?
Is it a howitzer? Is it a cannon? Because it looks like they load like World War I ballistic shells into it, and I'm like, is this a cannon or is this like some kind of like Age of Sigmar basilisk?
Now, Steven can't super see up close, but has anyone seen the original David Lynch Dune? Not the new Dune that's come out, but
yes, obviously
the psychotic fever dream,
the masterpiece that is David Lynch's Dune
from the 80s. The woman in the back looks like the woman who plays Shadout Mapes in that movie.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like they sculpted that woman for this.
That's a deep cut if they did.
Yeah,
that is an incredibly deep cut.
Yeah, it's not the best. It's not the best Easter egg.
Can we just go back to that one more second?
Yeah.
How do you feel about everything having that specific shielding on the front of it? Because this is like the third or fourth unit that we've seen with this.
My understanding is that there's a collection of units that have a keyword that are all built around building like a fortress castle concept.
Right.
And that I'm guessing this is one of them.
Yeah, because there's the spearmen, or the spear guys have these.
The Fusiliers?
Well, there's the gunners that have these. Is there not a melee unit that also has them? Or did I dream that? Maybe I dreamt that.
Yeah.
There's also this, and then there's the one that the ogre with the guy on the little...
Right.
The ogre with the crow's nest, with a man in it. He has a big shield too.
So, I don't know, like, the cities have this vibe of, according to their stories, of, like, everyday humans going back out to reclaim the mortal realms. So,
yeah.
I don't know, remember like the original StarCraft, like the original humans, you just went and built a bunker and like 2 missile silos like every like 10.
You deployed your siege tanks and then you rolled forward a bit and then you deployed the siege tanks.
And you built some more bunkers. Yeah, it's just like this is what I'm good at. I'm good at defense.
I feel like I have to say it does kind of go, I don't know, I need to read the book proper, but it does seem to me to go against the narrative a little bit of like they're meant to be on this big crusade, going out on the offensive. All of these things feel very defensive. It feels like this is what they defend
They're
places
taking their
with.
time, Steven. This guy is tailgating.
They are literally doing the bunker siege tank crawl across the realms.
The pub crawl. Look at this.
Yeah, this thing doesn't look like it moves. I'm like, I don't know where in the crusade line this is, but I imagine it's way at the back.
When he's aiming, how much do you think she's drinking?
True.
Yeah. This is
are we saying, or is this thing just so long range that they can stay at the city and fire shells 100 miles?
They're still in the city. They're either still in the city or this is a party cannon or maybe a little bit of both.
So they are basilisks. Okay, cool. Right. So this is literally Imperial Guard. Great.
This is
good luck saying this. Yeah.
I've heard. Actually, I forget her name. People have been calling her Granny Cities. Granny Sigmar? I forget. Do you remember her name?
No, it's really long.
Yeah.
She's like got a weird name, and then she's got a whole title after her name. Basically, she's the head of the Cult of the Wheel. That's her title. She is the head of one of Sigmar's cults. Like religions going out with the things.
We see the twin tail comet up there on the peak, which is cool. On the back of this is the one, if you saw earlier in the video, the skeleton.
Yeah, and again, I need to read the lore about this because apparently the woman on it is meant to have been. She's like the founder of this cult, and so she's lived for all this time. And
which humans traditionally don't.
Right, but but they seem... I don't quite understand. It sounds weird. Anyway, I need to read it, but it makes it out like she claims, and the cult claims, that she is the original founder of it, and she's like one of those original members. And the skeleton on the back, Don't talk about the skeleton on the back.
Yeah.
That's fine. We have the same scar just for reasons.
Scar on the skeleton.
Don't worry about it.
And is it on... I wish we had a shot of it. Is it on fire? Or
no, it's got candle. They've put like candles on it.
Okay,
It's got loads of melted candle, which looks
super
awesome,
cool.
by the way.
Super
I
cool,
love that aesthetic.
Yeah.
Really grim, really, really dark AOS. I mean, I love the whole vibe of this. I've no idea what it's going to do. It's a lady on a chair.
I know. I feel like I was talking to John and Saray about this earlier, and I feel like I really like the way that they have made humans scary. They're like, these are scary humans.
Yeah.
Like, they are, like, you would be maybe a little scared to be like a Gitz or like a cruel boy. You'd be like, these aren't the humans I remember.
Yeah, stark contrast to like, the resplendent Lumineth, how they look on the battlefield, all their lovely banners and heraldry. Like, they look, the shining, what do they call it? The shining
Company.
Shining Company.
Yeah.
This feels like the Grimdark Company.
It does.
These people come out with their melted candles and their bones.
They look mad.
Yeah, she's interesting.
Now, moving on to today's Warcom. I don't know if you saw it. It's all about Gargorians. Gargorians? Gargorians?
Baby gargoyles.
Are these little guys.
These are adorable.
Can someone tell me what the deal with the snail dude is? Because this is
not
the
baby salamander.
This is not the first. Oh, that is a little spawn of
cute.
contact. Can someone tell me what? And we get a little bit of closure finally on Sock Man and Sock.
What?
Remember, everybody's freaking out about this. Why is there a face in this guy's foot?
Oh, I mean, that is horrifying. Yeah, I've never seen that.
So
also lots of sea creatures and like little shell things. I'm like,
can anybody tell me what the deal with the unicorn snail is? This is like from actual medieval.
It's like Nautilus? They were like an ancient big shelled.
I have no idea.
They are very strange. They look cool though.
So apparently, they released a little thing on them today. They talked about the lore, and they said that no one's sure why these things exist, but they seem to be attracted to the cities of Sigmar. It might be if you're pious and faithful to Sigmar. They said they might be related to incarnates. There's a couple other reasons, but they're known to have a fierce hatred of chaos. Which I thought was kind of interesting. Everything in the Mortal Realms hates chaos, though.
Yeah, well, yeah. Because
every faction
they want to destroy everything.
Yeah, of course, right. They don't have great PR.
I mean, I will say these little critters are lucky that they're in this realm, because if this was in fantasy battles, these things would be immediately set on fire for just being absolutely terrifying. They're like, you're definitely chaos. We're gonna throw you on a big fire.
Same in 40K too.
Yeah. No one. Yeah, the only time we've ever seen little weird gribbly things like this is Chaos Familiars, right? That's the immediate thing that springs to mind.
Right.
So the fact that the Cities of Sigmar just are chill with these things,
it's interesting because we're not used to those kinds of humans. Humans are usually in these Games Workshop games, burn everything, like you said, set everything on fire.
But that's cool though. I like that it gives it more of a fantastical element. I'm very curious what they're gonna do. I wonder if they're gonna be like the sprites from like Sylvaneth that like
just have
carry little arrows and give you little wings and do all sorts of little jobs.
So this guy is actually a model on his own that comes in the according to the war comic, comes in the command company.
This guy's awesome.
And so you get like this pack of like a command company, and he's one of them. Unclear what he does, but
he just looks awesome.
He looks awesome.
Yeah, he's like a little dragon monster. I love that his collar is like a crown.
Mm-hmm.
What a badass! I love this guy.
Yeah,
this is the new what are those Gryph-hounds?
Yeah,
Gryph-hounds are out. Little Gargolian, he's in.
Yeah,
I want more of these guys.
Gargolian, is that what it is?
It's like a little reptile dog. I love him.
How are you excited about this army? And how? And if so, how? Are you excited to play it? Are you excited to kill it? How are you feeling about this army?
I don't know. I think it's cool. It's nice to finally see, the human mortals of the realms represented. I don't know. I'm very mixed about it. I love the range. The miniatures are beautiful. I don't think we've ever seen. I feel like the last time we saw a range refresh this distinct, maybe Deepkin or maybe Bone Reapers.
Before my time.
They're the two big ones that feel like a full reimagining. So I think these guys look amazing. Again, I think the range is a bit small. I'm very curious what they're going to add to it and when they're going to add to it, because I feel like this could be the new Lumineth, where we get a new range and a new book every 6 months for the next.
I would not, like you're saying, I would not be surprised to see kind of a second wave. I think a lot of us have our fingers crossed that it would be something like them versus some kind of goblins or something.
Or Skaven. Something
Skaven,
that feels
could
like
be
a good
Skaven,
match for
could be Skaven.
Mauls.
I personally am wondering if they're going to take 4th Ed to flesh out that the wolf riding goblins.
Oh, maybe, yeah, I could see that.
Because they're,
Well, Greenskins were the poster boys of the last edition. They got their whole new
orcs.
Yeah, so I can't see them doing it again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love the models. I love the reimagining of the humans. I'm really excited to read the book to see if there is any synergy between the elves, the dwarves, the humans, because it feels right now that they're very much pushing the play the new humans. They're really cool.
Yeah.
But Cities of Sigmar for me has always been the representation of all the races of the mortal realms that live in the cities and fight to keep order and keep the darkness at bay. So yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued and I'm excited to see them on the table. I'm excited for someone to paint this army and it'd be beautiful. I'm not going to buy it myself. It's not something I'm looking at getting myself.
It feels like a Steven army though.
I think thematically, like visually, it is a Steven army, but it's if I can't make an army 20 models, I'm not interested. I have to be able to get it down. This is like a
new Steven thing. This is like not the Steven I knew a year ago.
Yeah. I'm just not into hordes, and this looks like Imperial Guard. Like I'm gonna need 30 to 50 dudes and like 4 cannons and 2 units of cavalry, and I'm like, no, that's too many models.
I keep looking up here. I have a lot on my plate right now, hobby wise, but I needed just like a palate cleansing break. So I did start putting together one of my 2 steam tanks.
Oh, cool. I love that model.
It's a cool model. I love that model. You know what's very funny about the steam tank is it still comes with its square base. Its square base is about this big.
Its bases have gotten bigger.
It's about this big, and it's actually now goes on the same oval base that a Tau Riptide goes on.
That's good. I thought you'd say it goes on like Crondus's base, just the pie plate. Gigantic pie plate.
This steam tank is. I love that model too.
And it still matches this aesthetic. I think it's close enough.
Oh, absolutely. So I've got those 2, and I've got the Huracanum up there.
Oh, do you know what you should do? You should put the front of the new cannon, slap that on the front of a steam tank like a bulldozer. That'd look amazing. Yeah, that'd look really good, like a snowplow.
You mean like the shield?
Yeah. Stick that on the front of a steam tank. That looks sick.
Okay, look, we are excited about new cities. We're excited about this. I know I am. I've never played a normal human army. I don't play.
Oh, we didn't talk about the command squad. All those cool little fellas, the little heroes.
We didn't.
Those guys look incredible.
They look. The doggos from
that little assassin, the commissar of this army
with the little sword.
I love that model. Yeah. So cool.
We didn't. I forgot to get pictures of them, to be honest with you.
Well, they're cool. They're very good.
They're cool.
And the guy with the weird little flute boy, he's totally weird.
That looks like something from Flesh Eater Courts. It doesn't look.
Yeah, it looks like a little like a reanimated construct. It looks like, something out of another faction.
Very scary aesthetic. Very creepy, grim dark, honestly.
Yeah, but again, they have a command squad and they have artillery and they have infantry. It definitely feels like it's got an Imperial Guard vibe.
Yeah. Super excited for this army. Now, the other thing we want to talk about today is, like we said, non-magical armies.
Yes.
You've had a few bouts in the new edition.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
As have I. And I have put together a couple non-magical lists. I want you to tell me what you think.
Okay.
You want to go against these non-magical lists or not. Now, I put together 2 lists, and neither of these stray far from something I'm familiar with. I didn't want to dive, sorry in advance, Fire Slayers fans. I did not want to dive too deep into an army that I have no real familiarity with.
We need to get Bridget to do a Fire Slayers list.
To do a Fire Slayers list. I think everybody's looking at them and saying, this is probably really interesting. I'm going to be honest with you. I am, as another Daughters player, you got to drop Marathi, but I'm kind of thinking they can do it. Yeah, I know.
No,
but
what are you saying?
I know, but
it's sacrilege.
But I think if you don't have Marathi, they're interesting in this as well.
Are you thinking no magic? No magic
I think they
Daughters without Marathi?
Yeah, I think they can do
that's
it.
Interesting.
Because you can do
priest focused?
Yeah, if you don't have Marathi, you that army, you start building a Daughters list. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, you double the army size.
You start building an army without Marathi, you're like, where did all these points come from, right? I think you can lean into a cart. You might be able to do double cart. Ooh. I don't know that you need to, but you're priest focused.
But having one that's more like an actual offensive weapon
right.
and one that's more of a support piece, that could be fun.
I'd probably skip shooty snakes just because you're not double shooting.
They're priced to fire twice. They are absolutely priced to be firing twice a turn.
So I'd probably skip shooty snakes. I'd probably do... I didn't make this list up here today, but I'd probably do at least 60 witch elves. I might do 80.
Yeah, because hordes are also really good now.
Hordes are good. I might do 80. I'd probably have...
But you are missing... You're taking hordes of witch elves. God, you really want Hoarfrost. Hoarfrost makes them just unbelievable.
I know. And Mindraiser, which is maybe easier to get off than ever, or maybe not. That's sort of the thing. In a lot of the games I've been playing, that's sort of the thing I've been noticing. And actually, Brett and I were talking about this. He played a friend of ours, Graham. He played against his Tzeentch list, and he's like, with his Slann, he's like, you actually just don't know what you're going to get off anymore because...
Yeah, it makes it way more random.
And in fact, I think a spell like Mindraiser in the Daughter's Arsenal is going to be heavily targeted. Like, that spell is going to be heavily targeted to be dispelled.
Yep.
And it probably, if somebody wants to, they can. They can say, cool, I'm going to throw 2 Primal Magic dice at that after you've thrown your 1. And because I absolutely don't want 2 damage Witch Elves.
You know what's also really good? I played against Nighthaunt at the weekend.
Yeah?
And Nighthaunt are...
They're Horde.
Yeah, and they really benefit from this. But their anti-magic defense now, I think, is even more valuable. Because Banshees, after a spell is cast, you get to roll, but you roll just based on the casting value of the spell, and you basically get a second dispel chance.
Right.
If it affects any unit within 12
and
of them.
And they're so cheap.
They're amazing. They're amazing.
And that's all they do, really.
Yeah. Well, they're actually quite killy, honestly.
Oh, because they're 2 damage.
Yeah.
They're like no Rend, but you can Horfrost.
Yeah. They have loads of ways to get Rend.
There's okay. There's like they have one of those stat lines where it's like, this looks good until you get to one number and you're like, that's weird.
But you could totally just take them purely for the... Because now you can put 4 of your primal dice into a spell and cast it on an 18... And they're like, oh, what's it cast on? A 5? Okay, great. No. It's really, really potent defense now.
Yeah, I have to say that after I've got Old Town, I've got Nova. After Nova, we'll see how I'm feeling about Spiderfang. Because I've had some wild games go one way or the other. We had
an interesting game, didn't we?
We did. Steven absolutely destroyed me. I think I killed one of his models.
I brought some back, to be fair. I think he killed a few more.
Yeah. I think that game is... I've reflected on that game a lot. And in the between then and now, Megan and I, we're going to talk a little bit about our prep for Old Town Throwdown, which is coming up this week. Megan and I have been reflecting on the new GHB missions and the new battle tactics. And my gosh, it is hard.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really hard.
Gone are the days of hold hands and run.
Yes.
Gone are the days even of defiling territory or all of these things.
We took them for granted.
We did.
We made fun of them and we took them for granted, and now we don't have them and we're sad.
Matt Rose said, "All right, try to get 5 battle tactics now."
Yeah.
Like, geez, they are hard.
They are.
And there's.
I don't think I've done a game where I've got 5. I'm trying to think of all the games I've played in this GHB so far. I don't think there's a game where I've got 5 for 5.
Gloomspite are like okay. They have okay ones. I cannot do 5 for 5 out of the book for sure. I don't know that anyone is going to routinely be able to do 5 for 5 just from this book.
No,
that's almost impossible to imagine. The spiders have a venom one where I just have to do 8 mortal wounds with the bites. That's almost like a gimme. I picked at the right time.
Yeah.
So there are a couple. Gloomspite have about 2 that are like pretty easy, and that's probably worth 500 points, honestly, in Sigmar right now. Having 2 battle tactics that you can just get.
Oh yeah, it's a big deal.
It is hard out there, and you and I really spent that game, the first few turns, trying to figure out how we want to score battle tactics. I think failing.
We failed we failed so many of them.
And then it got it later into the game, and I was like, well, what I've done, honestly, mostly with Megan against other armies, a couple other opponents, is I played that game, tried to deny my opponent 1 or 2, or hope that they just don't get 1 or 2, and then just don't engage with them for a while.
Yeah.
I kind of did that with you, but we both weren't scoring any points.
No.
Then came the time where I had to engage with you, and I was like, well, I hope I get lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think Bone Reapers are going to be a tough matchup for me anyway. We'll talk about that when we get to get to that, but I'm a little nervous about that matchup.
Yeah, understandable.
List 1, you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay, this one's going to look a little familiar. I have taken my Rocky Mount Open list, and I have...
The tournament winning.
The tournament winning Rocky Mount. You know what? I didn't mention this to you, actually. Of all people, I forgot to tell you.
Did you win that event?
I did win that event, and I actually got to tell you that I randomly got invited to the Nova Invitational because of that.
Really?
Yeah. So
Are you going to go?
I am. I'm already going to Nova, so I get to go a day early and play, I'm going to guess, 1 game of Sigmar before I get sudden eliminated. Yeah.
Being invited to an event.
Yeah. I think I'll probably get knocked out round 1, unless I roll out of 5s and 6s.
Oh, it's a knockout?
Yeah, it's a 1-day, 16-person event.
Oh, last man standing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
That's cool.
It is cool.
I don't think I've ever been to a
4 rounds.
Last man standing. Oh, my
Someone's
God.
going to play 4 games. 2 people are going to play 4 games. 2 people are going to play 4 games of Sigmar that day. One of those people is going to not win the event. I feel worse for that person. But we all get a round 1 bye in the actual tournament the next day.
Oh.
So I'm going in the Nova 1-0 already.
Wow.
Look at me.
Wait, and then you're playing a different event the next day?
The next 2 days.
Oh, man. That is a lot of Warhammer.
It's a lot of Sigmar. Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, now, couple cool things, though. Different from Rocky Mountain.
Yeah.
One,
so take me through it.
on points changes alone, I had to swap out a Morin Fang pack. I was 10 points over. You can see what's 10 points less is a Stonehorn Rider.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to swap out a Morin Fang pack for a second Stonehorn Rider. Not in love with this.
That doesn't feel like a bad trade.
It's
Stonehorns
not
are
awful.
pretty amazing.
It's not awful.
Like, oh no, I had to take 1 more Stonehorn. Oh no. But Mournfang are really good.
Morin Fang are insanely good.
Stonehorns are a nice consolation prize, though.
Nice
Can't be
consolation
mad at
prize. Exactly. It's not awful. So that is the points. That is the tax I've paid on points.
So you don't have any of the other monster.
No, I don't think he's
even
that
as a
great.
support piece. No.
I mean, I don't think I want support pieces in this army.
Right.
I only have 6 units.
True.
I don't have.
I'm surprised you've got the pot on here because you're not going to be near the pot.
Never going to be near the pot. The Bloodpelt Hunter maybe can get over there. Who knows? Okay, now the big changes I've made here are that I've put a polished nullstone polished nullstone pebble.
Yeah.
On my Frost Lord. This makes him unappealing to target with magic.
So what is that? Is that the
4-up ignores?
Ignore.
Well, 4-up, then you need to switch to picking somebody within 3 inches to target.
Oh my god.
But this army, nobody's ever that close to each other.
I just hate that that's a thing.
That it switches. It just be the 4-up.
Or just a 3-up. Yeah, or just a 4-up. It just ignores it. It's so weird.
Well,
that
for
it has
me,
to bounce.
That's what it's gonna be because this guy is never 3 inches.
Can you bounce it to enemy units?
No.
Like if you're in combat and they target him, and then he just ricochets it into whatever he's fighting.
That's insanely cool.
That'd be cool, right?
You'd be a madman to do that.
Yeah, but if you really need to kill him and you can't, you're desperate.
Oh my gosh.
You can?
Yes.
Hell
Not only
yes.
can you.
Look at that.
The caster must. Because it says on a 4+, the caster must pick another unit within 3 inches of this unit and within range of the spell or endless spell's abilities to be the target. If when picking another unit there are no other targets within 3 inches, then it's just ignored. Wow. I actually love this even more now. I love that. Yeah. You just get into combat and... yeah.
And it applies to endless spell effects as well.
Yeah.
So here's best case scenario. Someone moves a purple sun next to your Stonehorn. They roll a 1. You 4-up and it eats the other thing that you were fighting instead.
Oh my gosh.
Good times.
That's impressive.
That's great.
That's quite interesting.
So he has some really potent magical defense, and that just really encourages you to just ram that Stonehorn into your opponent's face as fast as humanly possible.
The only thing I might change about this is that I typically ram my Huskguard on Stonehorn into my opponent's face as fast as possible.
So I guess you just do both.
So I might do both, or I might switch it and put it on him.
I noticed that he also has a prayer.
Yes, he has the Warlord trait that gives him a prayer. Toucher by the Everwinter. It should say touched by the Everwinter.
Oh, Toucher by the Everwinter.
It sounds bad.
That does sound bad.
That sounds bad. But I just give him heal. Honestly, this army has a lot of healing.
Yeah.
That's kind of
well, that's good because you only have 6 units, so you want to keep things around.
Exactly. So look, this army is packed. One thing I will say about the Stonehorn showing up in place of the Mournfang is, by the way, what he normally casts is Bless. So if I get Bless off on the Mournfang pack to give them a 6-up ward, everything in this army has a ward save. And in a world of Magic, it's kind of a thing.
Yep.
So that is kind of nice.
Also, I think the raw psychology of putting 4 Stonehorns down in front of your opponent, like, that is scary. Like, they are intimidating.
4 Stonehorns or 5 rock spiders? 4 Stonehorns.
You can put as many spiders as you want on the table.
You're no longer scared of them.
I was never scared of them. My Bone Reapers care not for spiders. Although I will say, I did say to you after the game, when you deploy that army, and there is that many pie plates on the table.
It's 5 Gargant size models.
Yeah, it is kind of intimidating when you have, like, what do I have in that army? 21 models, like, in a little square, and then you've got this, it literally fills the table.
Yeah.
But then you remember that the spiders don't do anything, and then you just kill 1 or 2 a turn.
Well, they can. They can.
Oh, really?
They can do things, yeah. So, listen, I have to be honest with you. I made this list up, and it was like, oh, man, I miss my Beastclaw Raiders, I have to say. The spiders have been a lot of fun though, but these guys
they are fun. The spiders are fun to play against, and they look fun to use.
Yeah, it's a fun army.
Yeah.
But I am super excited to, after Nova, get back into smashing people with Beastclaw Raiders. I think I'm gonna play Meg. We'll talk about the prep her and I are doing for Old Town.
Mm-hmm.
But Thursday, Megan wants to have a full tournament day experience, so she's making me play 3 games against her in one day.
Wow.
Here at the apartment. We're actually going to set up one of these Mevos and just stream it on our Discord server.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So if you're not in our Discord server, please hop in. And I think I'm going to play a game against her with Daughters, with Beastclaw Raiders, and with the Spiders.
That's great.
One of each.
That's great.
It's just so I don't go crazy, honestly.
So yeah, this list is cool. Yeah. I love that you kept the Hunter. The Hunter is so good. He is absolutely amazing.
And he still has his 3-up, once per game, once per phase ward.
Which is great.
Which is good. But you know what? In a new world with new battle packs and new... I don't know that it makes sense anymore, so I have to kind of think about that one.
And what's your Grand Strat?
Ready for Plunder is more units in the opponent's territory than they have. With only 6 units, you're like, oh, can you do that? But I don't usually care about being in my own territory anymore, unless there's an objective there. I can move very quickly. It's an insanely fast army.
Yeah, I think what I love about this army is I think games are going to be over quick, one way or the other.
And
I think that's the biggest appeal.
Listen,
also, I'm a fan of armies with like 10 models in them. So.
Yeah, this is like a Steam and Dream. Listen, I got like 14 miles of hiking in during the Rocky Mountain Open.
Yeah.
Because
yeah,
I was given 3 hours for a round and used 45 minutes of it.
Yeah, no, I like this list. I think it'd be really interesting to see how it does against against its opposite, against a big horde magic army. I'd be very curious to see how it fares.
The final thing I will point out is that it has what we jokingly call in the Beastclaw Raider community Tokyo Drift. And that's a fantastic way to just run over a screen and smash a little nerd hiding behind things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's like I think that's one of the reasons the book is still so, or that sub-faction in the book is still so competitive. Because I think most people now have switched to the Noblar canon flavor of ogres. So I think the Tokyo Drift is keeping them in the game.
Which, by the way, that list does horrible against me.
Yeah. Because you're really quick, really durable. They might bring a Stonehorn down, but then all the cannons die.
And the Mournfang have a weird anti unleash heck thing.
Oh yeah.
They can only be wounded on 6s.
Yeah.
So
which is great. Which is what you want for cavalry.
Yeah. Sad. Exactly. More cavalry should have that. Okay. Super cool. Now, our friend Andrew Plum, he's a local player. Actually, Andrew, we haven't heard from Andrew in a while. I think he's been super busy with life. We borrowed his Deepkin army back on Tabletop Times. I still have it in the other room here in my apartment.
Andrew, a beautiful army.
It's a beautiful army. Andrew, if you're watching, obviously I still have your army. I let him know this not too long ago. He knows. Okay, listen.
And if you want it back, here's what we want.
Yeah.
There's a Cities of Sigmar army.
Yeah. Yes, actually. Yeah. Yes, I agree. I like Steven's aggressive tactics. I'm now on board. Listen, I took his army, and I made a few changes. So first, I have been on record as saying I think the Achillean King is one of the biggest pitfalls, and it is an abusive relationship with Deepkin players. I've said that Deepkin players love their Achillean King. You look at the model, and you go, that thing's got 10 wounds, right? Maybe 11. but probably 10. No, probably 10.
Yeah, 10.
10. It doesn't. It has 7.
Yeah.
Or 6?
7, I think.
I mean, I'm always disappointed by it, so I want to look now. But I think you're right. I think it's 7. People were saying, "Oh, I've heard. Haven't you heard about how unkillable this thing is? I've never."
I mean, so I heard. I heard he was really smacky and he was really unkillable, and Katakros did not die to him and then made short work of him very quickly.
Nothing. This guy does nothing. This guy often does nothing to anyone. But I've solved this problem because I've slowly becoming a Deepkin player, and the way I solve this problem is by adding a second Achillean
just
king.
by super best friending him.
Yeah. Now, here's the cool thing. This army, and I said this to you earlier today, this army has had bonkers point drops.
Yeah.
This is Andrew's list. Let me explain what got added. So the only thing dropped is a unit of Ether Wings, which Andrew used to soak up fire.
Yeah, they're a good screen.
Yeah, they're a good screen. Because you have to shoot the closest thing in a Deepkin army. That's the
regardless of if it's a Deepkin unit, which is
you're like, oh, some
really
seagulls,
silly.
Some seagulls, shoot them.
Yeah, I did like that we got to use fish. I like the fish thing. Keeping it thematic.
Fish,
keeping it thematic. I love that.
Now, I was able to fit in a second Achillean King, 240, and a third Shark.
The same list.
In the same list.
You added nearly 400 points of stuff.
But and again, over 300 points.
Wow.
They had bonkers. It's mostly the eels. The eels were expensive and not good. Now, actually, this is right. I see here that I did not double the Achillean.
No.
The Morsar Guard list, but I have this on my app.
Eels cost the same as 10 Reavers and are more expensive than the Sharks.
They do now.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, so
the Sharks are so much better.
The Sharks are a lot... Well, yes and no. And I think this is where things get interesting. So, first, sorry about that typo, but that is a typo. I do have the list here. It's exactly 2,000 on the dot.
Right.
3 Sharks.
So I have a question about the list.
Double Achillean King.
Can you take 2 Nullstorm Pebbles? Because you can't... You're not meant to be able to duplicate magic items, artifacts of power.
I didn't take the same one twice.
Oh, you did in the list?
No. Watch.
All right, can I not read?
They have almost the same name. One is a
polished
pebble, and
I
one's
just
a
keep
pouch
saying the word
of
Nulldust and Nullstone. No. It wrecks my brain. You're right.
So this is the pouch you're talking about.
Yes, the powder.
So on our first Achillean King, we put the same 4-up bounce to somebody else thing.
Which is, as we just found out, incredible
extra
because it just flings spells around.
He's got all the other things. He's got the Void Chill. He's -1 to hit. He's got the Unstoppable Fury. So he's super nasty. You've got a second one waiting in the wings. He's going to pick up little things for you.
Yeah.
And you get... This also means that you have 3 turns of this fight first mechanic now. Because keep in mind that Deepkin fight first on turn 3.
Yes.
Natively.
Mm-hmm.
The Achillean King gives himself and...
D3 units.
D3 other unit. Well, he gives 1 D3 units fight first.
Right, okay.
So he gives himself, and if you're lucky, 2 other or 1 other unit fight first.
Sure.
And you now have a second Achillean King to do that as well. So you can actually kind of really mess with the pacing and the flow of combat by sending these kings in the right time in the right place. Your other hammer is actually, in my opinion, because Achillean Kings buff Achillean units, which are Morsar, which are the eels.
The eels and the sharks.
And the eels and the sharks.
Yep.
Your other unit, your other hammer is the 6 Morsar Guard. They do hit sort of hard. You've got
on the charge.
On the charge.
Yeah.
You've got the 1-turn Unleash Mortal Wound thing as well. So you have probably 2 really good... I mean, this is a timing army all the time. You have 2 really good hit hard and you know, do your timing right. And I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
The Reavers and the Sharks, meanwhile, are just shooting the crap out of things. And what the Achillean Ishlang Guard are really good at is they're just walls. They're tar pits. You charge, and they're unrendable, right? So
yeah,
3-up unrendable on the charge. So they are totally pains in the butt. In fact, the only thing I don't really like in this list that much is Lotan and the Soul Render. almost because I don't really know I think I'd like to see Andrew take this list. He would need to paint up another Shark, and he would need to paint up another Kellyan King. Now he's a Deepkin player, so I don't think he'd have any problem painting up another Kellyan King.
He's probably already got one.
He's probably already got one, at least assembled and primed and ready to go.
Yeah, this is a cool list. I like it. I like that it's lots of it's got lots of bodies in it, and I think the way you want to play Deepkin is always like kind of going death by 1,000 cuts. Mm-hmm. They want to chip away at you, harass you, and then move in for the kill when the kill is all but guaranteed. Although saying that, 3 Sharks charging into a unit that's taken damage from shooting will probably tear anything to pieces. That is a boatload of damage because they get the Predator thing.
Yeah.
And obviously the army's strength is its absolute speed and the fact that it flies and can go anywhere it wants. So yeah, I like this list. I think this is a really solid list. I like the 2 units to 10 Reavers. Reavers are really good for that price point. That's shocking.
Yeah,
how good they are.
Yeah, you're right. It is the prices. You're looking at the differences between the Guard, the Reavers, and the Sharks, and you're like, am I making? And I did too. I sat here and I looked at it. I was like, am I making the right call? Like, should I drop a unit of a Slain Guard for some more?
I think this is a great balance. I think you've got the 3 Sharks, they can do work. You've got the 3 units of Eels. I think the way you use the Slain Guard is they go in, they go into an enemy first, and then a Shark comes in, to deal the damage, and the Eels chip away, but they take the brunt of the hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this. I think this is a really solid list. I think this is the most excited for a Deepkin list I've been in a long time. Just seeing it on paper and looking at what you get, I think this is really. I think you could do well at an event with this.
Me too. You used to have. Let's real talk here. You used to have a Deepkin army.
I did.
And you got rid of it.
I did
because
I hated how it played.
Yeah, me too.
I absolutely hated it. Well, no, 2 things. I hated the flying stands.
Okay.
Absolutely hated them.
Yeah.
And the whole army pretty much is on them.
You play in 40k. You play Blood Angels only.
Yep.
Yeah. So I play Tau and Eldar, so you get used to it.
Yeah, I couldn't. Those new curvy ones where you clip it to the Sharks aren't too bad because they have a really good mounting point, and theirs is a bit bigger. The eel one, man, you look at an eel and it falls off that thing.
Well, Andrew, our friend Andrew, is one of those lovable psychos when it comes to magnets.
Yeah, he's got the magnet stands where they can move around. And...
That army is magnetized almost like I might almost... I know Andrew, I kind of know where he lives. If there were some unsolved crimes, I'd probably call the police on Andrew.
Yeah.
Just because there's almost too many magnets.
Yeah.
It's almost concerning. But it's
but honestly the army needs it. But yeah, no, it was that. So that was a big deal from the hobby side. I was like, I painted my a unit of eels. I really enjoyed the painting and I was really happy with them. But looking at everything else, I was like, and at the time you needed like eels were the thing. It's like you either run like 12 to 18 eels or you don't play Deepkin. Yeah. And I was like, I just don't want to do this. Yeah. So yeah, I sold the army, but I think they're interesting. I think they appeal to a very specific type of player. They're a very meticulous play style, and they are very unforgiving.
The type of person that might put
300
magnets on him.
Yeah.
I love Andrew. I can't wait to see him again.
Yeah.
And get his army back to him. Andrew, if you're watching, of course we kid.
They're very elf-like in their play style, and it was not for me, regrettably. But they're a beautiful army. But I like this list a lot. I like the balance of it too. I think you've got a good mix of things, and I think the fact that you've not got magic. I don't actually think Deepkin need magic. Really. I love the
it's a cool
the Eidolons. They're beautiful,
it's a cool model.
Yeah, they don't do a lot.
I don't think they need magic. I don't really think they need a turtle.
But the turtle is so cool.
The turtle's cool
and
it's good.
Amazing.
And it gives +1 save to like your whole. It's like an 18-inch bubble +1 save.
Yeah, I mean the turtle is.
The
turtle is really good.
The turtle's good, but again, the turtle's like a mini Marathi when you don't take a turtle.
How many points for the turtles?
It's a lot.
Could you have put a turtle in instead of an extra king and an extra shark?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think
That'd be tempting. I'd play that as well.
How much is the turtle? Let's have a look.
Just because then you've got a monster.
The turtle's it's 430.
Wow, I love how everything is cheaper than a Star Drake. I'm just like, what? Who did the Star Drake hurt? That he is so pointed the way he is. Poor Star Drake.
430. A Frostlord on Stonehorn. 460.
I think that's fairly comparable. The
turtle
when it can be really horrible.
He does. He's
on turn 3. He's brutal.
He's brutal, and again, he's a force multiplier. The Frost Lord is not really a force multiplier. He's a force
I don't know. That
divider.
feels like the right. I think all monsters of that ilk should be in that 400 to 500 bracket. It feels like the right amount of points investment for what they do.
I'm actually a little bit excited. It's not my army. I look forward to getting it back to Andrew, and I hope he's...
After he gives you the Cities of Sigmar army we discussed.
Yeah. I look forward to... and actually, I definitely will ask him if he's not watching to watch this episode, because I want to see what he's thinking with the new points drop. He's been out of the hobby, I think, for a little bit, and so I'm kind of curious when he comes back in to find out that he can get a whole nother Akkelian King in his list easy. I think that'll be kind of...
I mean, that is a shocking point. That's like, 15, 18% extra in your army? Yeah. That's not nothing.
I'm not sure anyone has gotten point drops like that.
No, not across the board. No. Maybe some units, but definitely not.
And Reavers didn't drop. Reavers.
I mean, good. Reavers are really good.
Yeah, they're probably one of the best battle line units in the game.
Oh yeah.
Before we move on to chatting a little bit about our upcoming Old Town Throwdown and what we've got going on next week, we have a few ads. Stack says, my little brother has decided to get like 600 points of different Gloom Spites to play PTG with my friend and I. What's PTG?
Don't know.
Oh, Path to Glory.
Oh, okay, cool.
With
right.
my friend and I.
Yeah.
He's getting a Scuttle Boss, Spider Rider, Boingrots, Snufflers. That's awesome.
That's a great little mix of things.
That's a mix of things. Yeah, that's fun. I think there's another one here from Stacks. If you think it's okay for them to snub Dispossessed like this with artillery, then you make me sad.
Hey, I don't think it's right. I think they're just biding their time. I think Dispossessed are going to come out and they're going to... like, Cities of Sigmar will get this cannon. Dispossessed are going to get...
Wait, Dispossessed are... disposed, right? Or deposed? Deposed.
Dispossessed.
Is that the
That's
dwarves?
the name, yeah.
Isn't it deposed?
Deposed? I don't know. I think it's Dispossessed.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, it's the Old Dwarves.
Old Dwarves, yeah.
Old Dwarves, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to come out of the gate with, like, all sorts of guns.
Yeah, I think, do you think that this army will be... So first question is, do you think the models hold up? Second question is, do you see this army coming out as its own full army?
The models that exist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they still hold up. A lot of them are, relatively new plastic kits.
They are, yeah.
They redid the dwarves fairly late into Fantasy.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I totally envision a world where the dwarves get the greenskin treatment, where all the clans get put into one book. So you'll have the Dispossessed, Fire Slayers, Quadrant Overlords in one book. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because I think the issue right now is that after playing against KO, they are weirdly complicated for a range that tiny. Same with Fire Slayers.
And both of them are like 180.
Yeah.
One is like no shooting, one is like only shooting.
So I think what they'll do is they'll do a Cities of Sigmar size Dispossessed range that acts as the backbone of a new book.
Oh.
Add the Fire Slayers in, because then they can streamline and simplify what those units do and give them new synergies. And then you can do like you can in Greenskins, where you can take one whole tribe, or you could take a coalition of the tribes, and that will change what kind of faction benefits you get.
That's interesting. I bet there would be a number of Fire Slayers and Overlords players that would be upset hearing you.
Well, I mean, if people are happy paying like full price for a book that's, practically 2 covers and 10 pages in the middle of it, I'd rather them just all be in one big book and I only have to buy that one for the faction.
Right, you can still play how it works.
The Fire Slayers book is the same cost as the Stormcast Eternals book.
Yeah.
And the Stormcast Eternals book is about 4 times thicker.
Yeah. I'm curious to see. I agree with you. I think the models hold up. I'm not sure the helicopter holds up.
Oh no, they need a new helicopter.
They need a new
and they need some new things. Like they need to inject some of that Age of Sigmar quirkiness to it. I'd expect them to get like maybe a big stompy robot, like a golem or something they've turned. They've created
like a log.
A log. Yeah, because they definitely don't just want to do classic dwarves when they come out, because they always want to make it their own and make it feel like the IP. But they've been alluding to Grungni being back and being around and doing stuff, and so yeah, I could see them like the followers of Grungni. Maybe they'll get rid of the Dispossessed title and
Stacks also says, I've started your Hero Forge model, Steve. It's in Hobby Chat. Now, if you haven't seen this, of what he's talking about,
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Hero Forge is the site where you can go design your own model.
Oh, okay, cool.
And he has made models for me and Megan and Saray, at least so far. Kat as well. And so now he's making one of you.
Oh.
Yeah. So you'll be able to see. And then we're gonna
I hope I have a quill and parchment.
Yeah, and because he's British, right? Yeah.
I'm a writer.
And you're a writer.
More that.
But you use a quill and parchment
all the time
as a writer because you're British.
Yes.
If you were non-British, you would use a pen or.
I would use an old-timey typewriter.
If you're American, you use an old-timey typewriter.
Yeah. Which you say my keyboard sounds like anyway, so I just I might as well just get on with it.
Okay, last thing. Next week, Megan and I will be driving back from Old Town Throwdown. Steven, you'll be driving back from. Can we say your plans next weekend? You have plans next weekend.
Yeah.
Do you remember your plans?
Yeah.
I remember your plans.
Yeah, I'm going to Portland. To Burger Week.
Burger Week. Yeah.
Me and my wife are going for a road trip.
This is why Steven could not do Old Town Throwdown. And why Megan really is, because I said to Megan, Steven was going to be great for Old Town Throwdown because him and I were going to drive down together, and that's the part that sucks to do by yourself.
Yeah.
But Steven also is like me, he wants his own hotel room. Yes. So I didn't have to be awkward and be like, hey, let's share a hotel room. He was like, no, I'm not doing that. I was like, awesome. I don't want to share a hotel room. We're each getting our own hotel room. Yeah. And then he was like, I'm going to Burger Week. I forgot. And it's honestly a pretty good excuse. It's a pretty good other thing to be doing.
Yeah. We've not been up there before, so we're doing
fun.
We're doing a road trip. So yeah, it'll be nice. I'm excited to drive through Portland because California driving is lovely and it's beautiful. So I'm excited to drive north and see what it's like that way.
Go through some like redwood country and stuff.
So yeah, very excited and just
the
have
shore
a break.
Up there is super cool. Yeah, you're gonna have fun. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, but I'm sad to be missing Old Town because everyone talks about it being like one of the best events, and
it's a cool event.
I feel like everyone we spoke to at BAO is like, "Oh, you're going to Old Town," and everyone's excited for it.
Yeah.
So I'm sad to not be going, because I would love to give people some easy wins on their road to getting ITC points, but alas, they'll have to wait till next year.
Yeah. Now, so that is that. Then Megan said, "Okay, well, I'll go down with you to Southern California," and I said, "Yeah, Megan's from Southern California," so I said, "Visit your dad while you're down there, whatever."
Yeah.
Right? And then just randomly she signed up, so she's doing this with me now. Her and I have been playing a lot of games.
We encouraged her. I feel like we were like, you got your army, it looks good. You've been playing more games, get on with it. Like go play some games.
And she's gonna be playing some games, all right. We have submitted our lists. Here's my final list. I did finally get a Scragrot. I'm down to 5 big spiders. From 7. So, I've got the double web spinner shaman. I've got 3 little gobbo wizards. I've got the 1 war party, which is sad, because I like the war party. It counts as 10 on objectives. Very handy.
Yeah.
I've got the 2 units of 10 spider riders. Those are great. They come back in groups of 5. And you had pointed out that maybe I should do 10-5-5, and I might for Nova.
Yeah, I think the 5-man units, because the spiders, 10-man unit spiders, let's be real, doesn't do anything.
You can't fit in there.
No, and it's really there to block your opponent and buy your bigger spiders some time and allow you to prevent objective scoring. So having 4 units of 5 or 2, 5, 1, 10 does that better.
Now you're mostly right. I mostly agree with you on that, but it does do one thing against some armies. It wouldn't do this against any Bone Reaper unit, but against some armies, what the 10-man spider unit does is it just lives a little bit longer than it should. You go into your opponent, and it doesn't die. So, typically what you do is you don't charge your opponent. You run up, and you sit there.
Yeah.
So you
sit on the border of the objective, and so they can't, even if they get into combat, they can't get into it.
The 10-man spiders do kind of help with the footprint a little bit. But the other thing you can do is you can actually send the 10-man spiders into combat against something kind of pathetic like them, and just cause a log jam. And I've seen that. I've been able, when Meg was running, we'll look at her list in a second, when she was running 20 zombies or like her 10 skeletons, you can kind of block up a little area of the board with that. But I think I would definitely do 10-5-5, maybe 5-5-5 for Nova.
Yeah, because you're not worried about drops in this army, so it doesn't. Well,
I kind of am.
I think if you were doing that, you would.
I'd stop.
You would stop worrying about drops. Worrying.
And actually, I think I might still be okay anyway, because that little troop guy, that little troop spot for drops is not very occupied. I think that could actually still be okay.
Oh, okay.
Now, here is maybe the ultimate powerhouse in my list is these 2 flingers.
Yes.
These things have these things really ruin people's plans.
They are amazing.
They have been keeping Durpo, who is what we call Megan's vampire lord and zombie dragon.
Yes, Count Durpo.
And Neferata, kind of moseying around the board like some zombies.
These things are incredible. Like, if you could take this thing as an artillery unit and not pay for a spider, you would see these everywhere because the effect is unbelievably good.
Yep. Now, I will say that they're also not bad horde killers. You roll the number of dice equal to what you're shooting.
Yeah.
It's 3, 1 damage. So it's not bad.
But really, it's the slowing effect.
It's the slowing effect.
Like, against me when we played, you didn't even roll wounds because what was the point?
Yeah, not against Bone Reapers. But I've been clearing 40 zombies with these guys.
Yep.
So half movement. If you get hit with this, you roll die on a 2-up half movement. And they're I think what's gonna maybe keep me in some games here. So we'll see. And it's true because I've had them go bad and against a few different opponents, and it's problems right away.
The problem is with these, it's the agony of choice because you want to fire them at the things you want to keep from getting to you, but you also want to kill hordes with them.
Usually.
And it's the toss up of like
it's usually the first one that you do. Yeah. Unfortunately.
I think the thing that makes them, really good but really tricky to use is the target prioritization, and I think that's where the skill is of knowing what to slow down and when. You have to think quite a bit ahead, I think, to get the most out of them.
We are playing a lot of games right now, Megan and I, with these armies, and honestly, most of it is just learning the army, which is new to me, but also the new edition, which is the new version of this GHB. Meg's list finalized. Here we go. She's got Neferata. She's got the tooled out Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon that everybody hates. Same price I'm now seeing as a Frost Lord on Stonehorn. She's double Vampire Lord on foot. She's got a unit of 40 zombies, 2 units of Death Rattle. The Eskurgan True Blades are because she thinks they're her best painted, and she wants to do well in that.
Oh, the Graveguard one.
She's got 10 Graveguard, and she's got the Corpse Cart, which makes 40 zombies extra not fun to interact with.
This is if I may, a disgusting list.
It's a good list.
This is so good.
It is a good list.
It's gross. It does everything. It does it well. Just horrible. This is horrible.
It's a tough list. Now the zombies have been tough for my spiders because I don't really clear hordes except for with the flinger. So the spiders don't really clear hordes well. They're good at killing elite things, but this has been they go in the middle of the board and sit on some objective and just screw up the whole middle of the board for me almost every game, which I think is exactly how most of the time you're going to play.
Yeah, and the 8 True Blades, like I know Megan's taking them because they're really pretty and they are very pretty. But I think they're a good unit. I think they're a high wound count unit. They're pretty choppy in a fight. Obviously, they're not a hammer or anything, but they'll get work done.
They pass out fight last.
That's the thing. Going into a unit, I think the ideal for them is you bring out the Graveguard from a grave site, charge into a unit, same unit that they're going into. They give the thing strike last, and then those 2 units just get to absolutely mulch whatever they charged into. Because the Graveguard kill anything.
I hope she's listening right now. We should mention that to her because she's been kind of trying to use them a little bit more with I think almost any other unit other than the great, like with Durpo or Neferata or something.
Well, the thing with Durpo is Durpo doesn't need help. He's unrendable, tooled up, kills everything, impossible to kill. He heals himself. He's ridiculous. He's good. He needs no support. But 10 Graveguard, as choppy as they are,
they're pretty fragile.
They are pretty fragile. Yeah. So I think having them come in on a flank with the True Blades, giving the opponent strike last and just letting the Graveguard hit without any retaliation, that's the dream scenario. They will kill.
Yeah. Now the fight last is only a 3-up.
Yeah. So and you still got to probably get a 9-inch charge and all that jazz.
There's some risks, but
you can really. They're a surprising hammer. I think you'll catch people, or she'll catch people off guard with that, because if you're not paying attention and you're like, oh, it's just 10 Graveguard, who cares?
No.
Or, oh, it's 8 Eskurgan True Blades, who cares? Those 2 units combined will wreck something way above their pay grade, I think.
And 10 Graveguard, as you pointed out to us, because I almost was like, is it worth taking 10 Graveguard? That's really all you need.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The other 10 are there to just take damage on the way in.
Yeah, you take 20 so that 10 get into combat. Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe not even 10, quite honestly.
No, grave cards are just horribly choppy.
They're super choppy. Hey, we did it.
Woo, we did it.
Next week, the plan is not 100% sure yet because Meg and I need to give some serious talk if we want to attempt a Monday show. Driving back up the state of California, we might not. But we think we'll give Steven the week off. And we think Meg and I will do an episode just talking about our time at Old Town Throwdown. And we might do that on Tuesday. We might do that Tuesday at noon or maybe 4:30. We're not sure yet.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that show and learn about what you two faced.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
excited to hear about Burger Week. In all seriousness, I kind of am curious. I want to know how many burgers you guys will eat.
I will ensure that Ellie writes up a comprehensive report about
the number of burgers.
Yes.
And Portland is like foodie culture like crazy too.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get some good just traditional burgers, but you're gonna get some weird burgers there too.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Yeah. Long overdue a little breakaway, so yeah, I'm very excited.
Okay. Steven, anything else on your mind?
No.
Folks, tell your friends, tell your gaming group about our show if you're a Sigmar player. There are not that many Sigmar shows out there. They're all good. We like all of them.
They are all good.
But there's not enough. We're one more.
And then none of them are exactly us.
None of them are exactly us. And I think that's a good thing and a bad thing.
It is.
But
it's
mostly a good
it's
thing.
totally a bit of both. If you want bad advice on what armies to play and take, we're you guys.
Yeah. All right. We did it. Guys, we'll see you next week. See ya.
Bye.